Hey guys, welcome to the running journey. I'm Rob Tetrault. Voice is a little messed up, I guess. I didn't realize it till right now when I hear myself talk. Good to see you, Charlie. Good to see you. I'm fresh off the Chicago Marathon. I just ran that yesterday. It was awesome. It was really, really, really cool. Third major I've run. We're going to talk a bit about that race today. We're going to talk a bit about Charlie, what you're doing in your training. We'll update you guys on all sorts of stuff that's happening. There's the WFPS that's coming this weekend. There's Triathlon Worlds for me. And Charlie, you got your Ironman in 2 weeks. It is a busy time, as is normally the case around this time of year. Races galore. Really, really fun if you're hosting a podcast called The Running Journey.
Yeah, it's awesome. You sound like you went pretty hard in your marathon. I get the scratchy voice sometimes when I have hard workouts, but I don't think you ever go as hard as you go when you run a marathon. So for as long.
No, I don't think you can, right? It's not possible because you can't tell yourself to go through that much pain unless it's for like a marathon, right? Or like a major marathon or whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay, so where do we want to start on your marathon? Do you want to
wherever? So I ran a 3:03, 3 hours and 3 minutes. Do you know what my chip time was? 3:03.
3:03:03. Do you want to go back to like how you got there, things like that? You want to start with that?
Sure. Yeah.
3:03:03.
3:03:03. Yeah. Okay, I pulled it up here. 3:03:03. I ran.
Yeah.
It was. No. I'm very, very pleased because those of you that have been listening to the podcast have heard me whine and complain for the last while here about this stupid hip thing that wouldn't go away. I recorded an episode with Ryan Bram, who you guys have heard already before listening to this episode. Recorded on Saturday. He ran the Chicago Marathon, and that's a great indicator of actually how I felt, I think. But anyways, I'll get to that. But went down in an RV with my boys, 7 buddies of mine, and we participated in the Big Buck Hunter World Championship. So it's an arcade game. We have a machine at the office here that I bought, and we play quite a bit. I don't know. We play, and we qualified for the Worlds. I was ranked 41st going into it. Did not have a good tournament, but that's all right. Some of the guys on our team did pretty good. One guy upset the 7th ranked player in the world. There were some wins. Labby had a good tournament. We had a blast. That was a 2-day tournament. We drove down on the Thursday. We got there Friday morning. Friday was bib pickup day for me. I actually loved my Friday. I had a great day, Charlie. I went to the expo. Remember the Boston and the New York expo? Which one did you think was kind of better? What's your favorite expo so far that you've been to?
Favorite expo. Not a big fan of expos.
I'd say Wallach, Moises Alou, Marquise Grissom.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of those expos. Yeah, absolutely. Wilfredo Cordero.
Mike Lansing.
Larry Walker. Larry Walker's the all-time greatest.
Yeah. The greatest expo ever.
Well, Dennis Martinez is up there. Anyways. Yeah, okay. So anyways, I'd say the New York one was my favorite so far that I've gone to. Yeah. Something happened. I lost you for a second there.
Is that me or you?
Yeah. So I just said New York, I think was my favorite. Like, I mean, yeah.
Okay. New York, yeah. New York was nice. New York was big. Boston was big. I don't remember how big those were, but this was like monstrous. I'm sure they were the same size, but it felt just so big, so huge. There was so much. I ended up spending like 2-3 hours there just walking around.
Oh, I was gonna say like 2,000-3,000. I thought you were gonna say 2,000-3,000 on shoes.
No, I spent 800.
Only 800. Okay.
Yeah, I bought the Vaporfly Next 3. What are they called? The new ones.
The 3s. I don't know. Just call them 3s.
The 3s.
Yeah, and you like the Vaporflies, eh? I really like the 2s. The threes, for some reason, I haven't been performing too well in them, but yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. I ran one race in them and they were brand new, and I felt like $1,000,000 and I had a great day. So there might be a bias there. I like them. I
No, but
tried them on.
everyone's different, right? So everyone's different. So
When you tried them on, did you not immediately love them?
No, I
And you
kind
bought
of
them
like the
anyway?
feel of the twos better, to be honest. Just because it's like it's got like that big at the end. I don't know. I just like the feel of the twos better. And I've never
I
had a
do
good
like
race in them. I've never had a good
I
race in the threes. That's why maybe I don't like them.
maybe that's why. I do like the twos. The twos are unreal, and that's they were my race shoe till I bought this pair. Like I love my Vaporfly twos, and I'm starting to realize. Someone asked me, one of my buddies asked me, "You bought 2 pairs of race shoes, Rob?" I bought Meta Speeds also, and they're like, "How many races are you planning on doing that you need to alternate your shoes, your race shoes? How many pair of race shoes do you have now?" I said, I think I have, and then I realized, yeah, maybe that's a little ridiculous to have like 6, 7 pairs of carbon plated shoes,
Yeah,
8
I mean,
pairs.
you need different circumstances
I
require
guess
different. Yeah,
10K. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I dress by mood, as
Yeah.
as the great George Costanza once said.
So I realized that what I'm gonna do is I have these old shoes that I still wear that have a billion miles in them. I'm gonna just slowly retire those, and I'm gonna use my older Alpha Flies as my like kind of regular shoes. Is that kind of what you think you're doing?
Oh yeah, I've been doing that for a long time. Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
but my old Alpha Flies, like one of them has 800 miles on them, and they still feel great.
Like, there's no way in heck I would use my, I have a whole bunch of like mid-range shoes like Nike Pegasus and Brooks and whatever, all
Yeah.
these $100 shoes that you buy at the discount bin at the Nike outlet mall, that are good shoes. Like, they're really, really good, but there's no way those shoes new can compare to my Alpha Flies with 500 miles on them. They're like, there's no way,
Well,
right?
I don't. I would prefer a 500-mile Alpha Flies over
100 million percent.
brand new. I don't know, pieces of wood.
Yeah, no, it's not even. So I mean, I don't want to be a shoe snob, and I guess I am becoming a shoe snob here, but I
Well,
don't think
okay,
I ever.
but what about Victor? He ran it. He had his 27th birthday today,
Yeah, he was doing 27 miles. I was supposed to go, but since I can't move,
but
I decided not to
he
go.
did like a 1 hour, 10 miles. Do you remember shoes that he had
Yeah, I
on?
remember shoes. He
Yeah, they were
had
just like I don't know. I forget the brand, but they were like $100 shoes.
he's in shape, that guy, Victor. Wow, I mean, he's young, so but like, wow,
Yeah.
he's in great shape. Um, so yeah, I bought 2 pairs of shoes. I bought 2 pairs of $300 shoes. I tried the Metaspeeds on, and I called you out of a panic because there was like a million people. Like, okay, I got to tell this story. The Nike store in the expo.
Yeah.
I went bright and early on Friday, 2-day
Okay.
expo. I went bright and early, and I asked, and I see that everyone's panicking and they're like grabbing boxes off the shelf, and the shelves are empty. And finally, I grab a guy, and like it's a rush, and it's a zoo in there. And I'm like, any chance you have a 10.5 in the new Vapor Flies? And he goes, 0 chance, buddy. I'm like, okay. Yeah, like,
You wear 10.5s?
I wear 11s for alphas, and I wear 10.5 for vapors.
Oh, okay. I wear 10.5s for both. And I thought yours were bigger than mine, but yeah, okay.
Well, what happened is I couldn't get 10.5. I couldn't get 11s when I went to Minneapolis.
Oh.
All they had left was 10.5 and Vapor Flies the last time I bought a pair of race shoes. And I'll take them.
Yeah,
I took them.
10.5,
And
11, pretty close.
I kind of like they're a little tighter. I kind of like it a little bit. Now, there was blood at the end of my shoe after I finished my race yesterday.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. It's a marathon. So the guy goes, I go, can you please check, see if there's an 11, 10.5, 11, anything? So he goes, yeah, give me a sec. He comes back. He goes, last pair. Do you want them? I was like, yeah, I guess, because there's like a million people waiting in line. And I didn't realize, but there was a lineup, an S lineup to get service. Like, as far as I could see, I took a video. it's obscene. And I guess I cut the line. I didn't know. I guess I shouldn't have done that, but I didn't. I was just naive. And all these people are waiting to get shoes or other stuff, I guess, waiting to pay, waiting to get shoes. And Nike ran out of shoes at 11 a.m. on the first, or noon on the first day of a 2-day expo. What's happening? I've asked this before. Are they?
But why? Like, I feel like when I need shoes, I'm not a wait till the race day gonna go and wait in line. I'm gonna check every once in a while and just buy them online. But yeah, I guess different people.
I've not been able to buy them. I've been trying to buy them. I couldn't get a pair.
Okay.
Anyways, so
I have way too many shoes now, so I stopped looking. But I do need, for a 100-miler, I do need the carbon plate, the best carbon plate trail shoes, whichever those are. But I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about our plan for the 100-miler. Oh, I gotta tell you this story real quick. When I had my call with Patrick on Saturday.
Okay. Oh, I saw Patrick today, by the way.
Okay,
great.
Did he talk?
I have a story about this. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm taking a story. He goes, "Hey, I've been listening to the podcast. Did you know he listened to the podcast?" I'm now a little embarrassed that he's listening to the podcast, because like he's kind of a character on the show now. Anyways, we love.
I didn't know Pat. I was hoping he didn't listen because we talk about him way too much. Yeah,
I know. He's the best coach. He's so good for me. Anyways, he goes, "Anything you want to tell me about what's coming up on your calendar in the next while?" And I was like, "Well, we got that 100-miler, and we got 7 marathon 7 days." And he goes, "When's the 100-miler? You've not talked to me about this." And I was like, "I didn't tell you about the 100-miler, and this. Did you tell him about the 100-miler?"
I didn't know tell him about that. I decided I want to focus on Ironman California before, so I haven't told him.
So I guess I thought I had told him. I thought I told him, or I thought you had told him. I thought he knew. So I'm like, "Patrick, yeah, you know about our 100-miler. We're doing it in December there." And he's like, "No, I don't know anything about that." So then I told him, he's like, "So that's 7 weeks out, eh, Rob?" I was like, yeah, whatever. It's what it is. Okay. All right. Thanks. We'll put that in the plan. So it got added. I don't know if it got added to your calendar in training.
No, I didn't check. I don't know.
So anyways, your story about Patrick.
I'm not worried about the 100-miler.
I'm not either.
You just run slow, and yeah, maybe you do it, maybe you don't. Whatever.
Yeah, there's no.
It's a C race. It's a C race that'll be extremely fun.
It's a B race.
Okay, it's a B race. Well, that's an A. It's close to an A.
It's going to be an A pretty soon, I think. I'm going to start getting pretty excited about it. But it's like there's not less consequences, right? For me, Chicago was like so hard to get into these majors, so much effort, so much. That's like an A+ race, right?
Well, yeah, Chicago is kind of like you kind of have to be firing on all cylinders for you know what they say about marathons. They're pretty hard, right? So
they're hard, and it's I kind of broke down in our last episode that we were recording how hard it is to peak properly for a race. It's hard. It's so hard to be optimally trained for a race and to not be injured and to be healthy and to get good conditions. And so it's like you feel like you're so invested into the time that you spent that you can't just go run Chicago next weekend, right? Like you have to.
Yeah, I feel like give me 6 weeks. I'm feeling pretty good myself, but yeah, no.
But I mean, you would have to sign up for Chicago like a year ago, right? So you can't just do it, right?
Yeah, it's too bad you can't just like train, and then I'm peaking now.
Yeah, I'm peaking now, and today I want to run Chicago Marathon.
No, I want to run it in 2 weeks, or I want to run it in 1 week, or whatever.
And organize the course for me.
Yeah,
and have the volunteers out and then just run the course. No, it's hard, but so Saturday. Did you have a Patrick story?
Yeah. So I saw. No, I'll save it for after. Well,
whatever. It's
I'll just say it now. So I saw him today. He's like, "Did you see your brother? Man, he did like he was super pumped about your run yesterday." And I was like, "Oh, I wasn't surprised. I thought that was like about where I thought he'd finish." But he said, "Oh yeah," and then he said, "Yeah, but your brother, he's pretty clutch." That's the exact
clutch. I feel
like exact words that he said. I was like, "What? I'm not clutch either, or what?"
What about me, coach? What about me? I feel like we were talking about Patrick, because the boys were kind of interested in my race, right? So I went down with 7 people that are not runners, and they're buddies, but they support me. They like the thing. Colin Lafreniere was supposed to come, but he couldn't come because of his injury. So I gave a spot to TRJ Tetrault, my cousin, and it was just the boys. And it was a road trip. We went down for Chicago Marathon, but we talked a bit about running here and there because it's hard for me not to talk about running. And then the guys were like planning the departure. We were wanted to leave right after the marathon so we could get back home in time for Thanksgiving. 14-hour drive, right? So Rob, what time are you going to be at the RV? And I said, Marco was like, what time are you finishing? 3 hours, right? Or whatever. What is it going to take you? 3 hours? Like, and I was like, well, and then I wanted to give him my life story, but he's just like, I just want a number.
Yeah, just give me a number.
So I said, well, my coach says it's going to be a 3:20 day. I think I can do better if all goes well. If all doesn't go well, I might just take it easy and put the foot off the gas and just run a 3:50 or 3:40 or whatever. But anywhere between 3:10 and 3:50 is what I told him. He goes, your coach said 3:20? He said, okay. So then I ran my race. They were following, obviously. They were waiting at the RV, which was
they should have asked me, is what they should have done.
Well, or Jen Sacco. So because she was not believing the 3:20. Anyway, all that story.
Yeah, I know. She sent me a couple of messages.
She's been so supportive of me. If you're listening, Jen, thank you for being so supportive. Charlie's like, well, I said you could break 3. Why am I not being supportive? You've been very supportive too, Charlie. But Marco was like, so your coach told you 3:20, and he specifically told me in my meeting, sub 3's out. So don't do the mistake of starting at a 6:50 pace because you're risking, you haven't run that pace. Like start slow, and if you're feeling good, build up to it and whatever. So I listened to that. I was like, okay. And then Marco was like, do you think your coach, and like in the RV, I was like, Patrick, if you're listening, this is not meant as a chirp. This is not meant as a chirp, but like, do you think he knows you so well that he was trying to motivate you to do better than what you actually could do? Do you think he actually knew I could push a 3:05 maybe, or 3:03 or a 3:02? And he was saying that so that I'd be like, Patrick thinks I can't do it, eh? Patrick thinks I can. Do you think there's a bit of that?
I don't know. I think it maybe a little bit.
Yeah, because he didn't want me to be disappointed, right? So if I had a bad day and I did a 3:18 or something, he'd be like, that's good because you know. Anyways, so I had my call with Patrick on Saturday. We talked about pacing, we talked about strategy, we talked about not getting injured because I have this 100-miler coming up and all that. I went to the Adler Museum. I need to tell you this story real quick. I was walking back from the expo and I was going to meet up the guys. They were at the Buck Hunt World Championships. The matches started at like 6 o'clock or something. So I was walking, making my way there. And then I saw, like, I had time to kill. So I was just walking, enjoying Chicago. And I saw Adler Planetarium. So I'll go in there. Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah.
Okay. So I walk in. I have no idea how this thing works. I go, hey, what's going on here? Can I buy a ticket or how does this work? They go, yeah. Do you want to see any of the shows? I go, what shows you have? There's only one playing right now. What is it? It's Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon in the planetarium show. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? So I bought a ticket. I sat down. They did this movie. They played the album. 1,000,000-star review. If anyone goes to Chicago, go see that show. It's very, very good. It's
next year, me and Todd will go.
Yes, you and Todd are going, and whoever else is going to do Chicago, because it was so good. Like the album, and then the history of space and history of time travel, and history of space travel, and it was really, really cool. Anyways, I did that. Then I went to the Buck Hunt World Championships, and I lost my match, and some guys won, but it was a great time because we are kind of like the Canadians there, and then we went to see a stand-up.
Were you wait? I've got a question about last year you were like really into this buck hunter, but were you like actually thinking about your marathon lots?
I couldn't care less. It was like an F competition.
So you cared a lot more about so that means that you knew you had a chance. That means you knew
Charlie 1,000,000 times more. I honestly, I was like, didn't care if I was late for my match. I didn't care if I default. I was just, and I know that I worked all year to get enough points to qualify for this World Championships. I could not get the race off my mind. I couldn't get it off my mind.
So and that's how you knew deep down.
I was excited.
That means you knew Charlie, deep down that you could do something.
I was hoping the hip would hold out, and I thought Drew Patrick and his 3:20. I thought about what you said in our last meeting, you're like, you were a 255 runner 6 weeks ago. Like, you didn't lose 25 minutes of, and I kept thinking about that comment. And I kept thinking of Jen, who reached out to me and told me, you are going to break 3 hours tomorrow, Rob. Like, believe that you can, and go out there and do it. Don't have this attitude that you're a 320 runner. And I was like, and she was so supportive and encouraging, and it's kind of exactly what I needed to hear. So Jen, if you're listening, thank you. I saw that message Saturday night as I couldn't sleep, and I was sitting in my bed. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going out tomorrow. I'm going to go. I'm going to do what I can do. And whatever that is, it is, but I'm going to go. None of this bullshit wimp talk of wussy talk of me saving myself for the world championships to try bull BS. So I totally changed my attitude at the buck hunt. I was so zoned out. I lost my match. I got upset.
Well,
in the
yeah,
first match.
I just can't, like, I mean, I know the night before I have a marathon, God,
I couldn't.
It's nice to have the
play.
distraction a little bit, though. But yeah,
it was nice to have the distraction. Yeah, it was nice to have distraction, and I was excited for the boys because they were playing well, and those guys did well. And the last year I finished like 40th or 45th or something, and this year I finished. Well, I was the second highest seed to bow out immediately. So I got upset once and I got upset twice, back to back. So it wasn't whatever. I didn't care. I didn't practice. I was so focused on my race, but we had a good time. And then we went to see like this improv show at the Second City. Like, it's like where all the Chicago stand-up comedians go. It was great. And then we went to this bar. Anyways, it was a great time. And Saturday I woke up and went for my little jog, and I went recording with Ryan Bram, and then I got eliminated from the tournament, went back to my place, made my pasta, just waited for the clock to tick for me to go to bed. I went to bed at 9:30, couldn't sleep, obviously. I slept so well the first 2 nights. So well. I was out cold and I had beautiful sleeps. And then I could not sleep the night before. Remind me, are you able to sleep before big races?
Usually no. If I care about, if it's an A race, no. B races, yes.
So this is the least that I've slept. Like, yeah. It reminds me of like.
I mean, I usually get at least 3 hours though.
Like, my watch says it was like some sleep, but I know I tossed and turned all night. I know.
But yeah, all my PRs have been on like 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter that much as long as you're like.
I think like one day isn't gonna kill you, right?
Yeah. I had slept well the 2 nights before. Got up early. I went to so I have a charity bib, right? I was running for Team to End AIDS. So, so I was like, I'll go meet my team. They had this room reserved next to the start line, and they were escorting us to our corral. So I was like, I'll go do that. It'll simplify things for me. I have my own washrooms there. I don't have to stress. So I went there early. I hung out with the Team to End AIDS, and I listened to the speech, and we raised we raised like $500,000, I think, and walked out to the corral. And then the corrals, Charlie, like I realize now how well organized Boston and New York are relative.
They have more data, right? They have I mean, Boston has way more data.
Yeah, and not just that, but they have more space, I think.
Yeah.
To set up the start. Remember, we had different like zones. What do they call it?
But I guess that would make it also unique that Chicago is more like, it's
everyone's starting on the same street, one after another, all the corrals. Like it's
just like a rolling start.
And like every corral is like
there's no waves.
There's I think 15 corrals or something like that, but it's just A, then B, then C, then D, then G,
that's what all the way. Like no splits.
There's no, so like, and each section has some porta potties. The porta potties, like, we've seen shortage of porta potties in our lifetime. Boston, whatever. But
remember Boston, the 4 urinals that you just facing.
Yeah. 4 urinals facing each other. They should have that at Chicago. So you're in the middle of a city. And there's urinals. And I go to the line, and I took a video of this too, because I've never seen this. The line was like, I don't know where the line was, but it was like a football field of people of line to get into the urinals. And I just, some were moving this way, some were moving that way, some were moving through. The line was just people moving. And I was like, where's the line? And it was just like a massive mess of a free fall. So finally I get into a line, what I think is the line. It's moving, right? Because but it's never ending line and the time is ticking. They close the corrals, right? So if you, at 7:45 or whatever, and if you're not in your corral, then you go to the back. Well, I didn't want to do that because already my corral start, I was in corral H or something, G or H. So that was the 4-hour runners.
Yeah.
So when I told this story in my Strava, but when I submitted my application to Team to End AIDS, I put in my time, my personal best, and I put in my projected time. I put 3 hours, 2 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. And I thought, this is my fault. It's 100% my fault. I'm not blaming anyone. I thought that was how they would seed me. But that was just information for the charity. Like they weren't submitting that. There was a form you had to fill out to submit with an official time to get reseated in your corral. I didn't do it.
Oh, so this was like my 10K at the Manitoba Marathon a couple of years ago where you had to weave quite a bit.
It was like, as much as I loved the race and the experience, I hated the weaving.
Well, no, it's just that just makes it that much harder. You can't, like, they're ridiculously hard.
Yeah. And I zoomed in on my map to see, like, no wonder I did 43.2 kilometers or whatever. Like it was, the whole time. So I didn't want to miss my corral, but the pisser lineup was as far as you could see. And so I'm in this line and finally I'm like, okay, I'm getting to I might make it. And then I get to the front and the line turns and goes the opposite way. And it's like a big loop over there and back. So I'm like, mathematically impossible. I'm not going to make this.
So Chicago has the worst toilet situation then. Like
there's no possible way.
Boston is not an issue. New York was not an issue.
Not an issue
because you had some everywhere, and then you had some right beside the starting line, an infinite amount. So I'm in the middle of the city.
I'm looking around. I'm like, I have to piss. What's the move here? Middle of a city, so it's not like you could just go find a tree, right?
Yeah.
So I did a move. I went to the end of the line of the urinals. I went to the side and I pissed on the urinal. Then what I noticed, everyone saw me, and then all of a sudden, all the guys just came one by one, and they were just pissing on the side of the urinal. And then the girls,
it's like that. It's like that hill just outside of CMU when you start the. Anyways, everyone goes there.
And the girls were just squatting, and like some of the girls were acting as like barriers. And they would just squat, and then there was
have to like at that point, like if there's no,
you can't not piss. You can't not piss before your race. Like
I mean, you could wait. I guess 10 minutes. Just start your race late is not a big deal, but I guess.
But you go to the back.
Yeah. You'd have to weave through more people, but maybe it would get. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, so started the race like 8:08 or I don't know. It started, and it was a relatively good day. I mean, it was warmer towards the end, but I wanted to just go by feel. So I did my first, I don't know, 7:15s, something like that. My first 5 miles, 5, 6, 7 miles. And I actually only recorded one video of myself during the race. I was wearing my GoPro, so we'll have the race up on, but I recorded one video. It's at kilometer 10. And I watched it just before this because I didn't really remember what I said, but I said, trying to hold on to 7:15s here. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to hold on to 7:15s, but who knows? Maybe I'll kind of, because you know how I have that issue where I warm up after 5, 6, 7 miles.
Yeah.
And then sub 3's out because secretly I was hoping for sub 3. I didn't want to tell you.
But I know so when you started doing, you sped up to 7:05 for your last 2K.
Which 2K?
From 8K to 10K. And then you started doing 6:58s.
Are you looking on Strava or are you looking on?
I'm looking on the official.
Oh, they have every mile split?
No, they have 5K, 8K, 10K, 15K, 20K. This is official. Like this to me is official.
I don't see the 8K. I have
So
5K, 10K.
on the app, it doesn't show it. I don't think it.
Okay. So it might have been at kilometer 9 or something, but I started feeling, sorry, I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
No, it's good. So
I was doing 7:15, right? Roughly 7:10, 7:15, something like
seven
that.
10s to start. Yeah. First 10K were 7:10, 7:11s.
Yeah.
And then you started doing 6:58s, 6:55s, and then as soon as you started the second half, I don't want to go too far ahead, but then you started doing sub 6:50s.
Okay, so what happened is at mile 8, I remember it as mile 8, and I don't know what my pacing says, but that's when I realized, holy shit, I feel good right now. I feel really good. And I wasn't looking at my watch because I told myself, go by feel, because you're not, I know I've done enough of these races.
That's probably a smart move especially when you haven't, like when you have a 5-week or 6-week taper. It's not the regular training plan, but I mean, a 6-week taper, 2-week taper, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But,
I was just like, holy shit, I feel good. I feel good right now. And then I said, what if I do a couple miles here at race pace just to see? Yeah. So I sped up and then I just wanted to see. So I think that might have been 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there. And I felt good. And then at mile 10, when I crossed mile 10, I think it was, what was it? 71:40 or something like that, basically, or 71:20.
They don't have the 10-mile split on here.
Okay,
but yeah,
71:20. So I did 7 minutes in whatever, and I said, I think, and I debated with myself, said, is there a chance that I can put myself in reach of 3 hours?
Yeah.
What do I need to do to put myself in reach? So I did the math. I needed to save 200 seconds above, 200 seconds below 204.
6:52.
No, it was a little later. It was 200 and it was 200 seconds below 6:52, or like 4 minutes below, 4.5 minutes below 7-minute miles.
Okay, yeah.
I started tracking by 7-minute
miles. Well,
miles.
you hit the half at 1:32:17. So
yeah, and now I needed to do 6:42s the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And I said, literally at the half, I saw it and I said, screw this, let's go. And like my mile 14 is a little off, I think, because I went really hard all of a sudden. I think I did like
you have 6:47 split for 25K.
Yeah, I know that my 13th mile on my Strava, I did like a 6:32 or something, or 6:34. So I said, let's go. Let's see
I was monitoring on the app, and I'm like, don't go too hard right away. I was like, save it a little bit. Like, you don't have to make it all up right away. And you listened to me. Even though like we weren't, like, you did listen to what I was saying.
But you kind of knew what you're like, I know what's happening right now.
Oh yeah, no, I knew. I was like, in your head, I was like, okay, so he's okay, now he thinks he's got a chance, but he needs to just chip away. And then I said, okay, but don't go too hard right away, because I've been in that situation where it's like, okay, now you feel like you got it all of a sudden, or you feel like you got a chance, but then there's still a long race to go, so you still have to.
Yeah, I honestly thought at mile like 15, but now I started doing 6:40s.
Yeah,
on my watch, right? And I know that wasn't accurate, so that was a little bit of a battle, because the 6:40s weren't real 6:40s; they were like 6:44s or whatever, 6:46s, because of the extra mileage I was doing. So I was like, hey, you got to go a little harder than that, because that won't be enough. So I was thinking 20 seconds per mile below 7 minutes is what I need to make up. And I was chipping away. And at mile 15, I was like, there's a shot. I have a shot.
Well, you made up quite, like at 35K. At 35K, you were 2:31:05. Okay.
Yeah.
So
29 minutes.
29 minutes to do
7K. Right? So just over 4.
Which is like 4:10 per K.
Yeah. And I was doing 4:13s or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I honestly thought,
close. Like, you had a chance. Like, it wasn't outside of the realm.
No, and I knew that, like, I felt good. I felt really good. And I'm like,
but I think it was a little too much to ask. Yeah.
It was a little too much to ask. Yeah. And I then you start going through the regrets. Why did I do 7:15s? Why didn't I do 7?
Like, okay,
I know, Charlie. I know
you didn't have it, Rob. Like, you didn't.
I know I didn't have it.
You were very, very close.
I was, but close.
Like, your second half was still above 1:30, right? So
agreed. But remember that the last 4 miles, 3 miles when I realized I didn't have it. And when I realized on mile 23 is when the hip started hurting. And like the last mile was uphill.
But I'm saying if you would have went a little harder at first, you would have had that feeling earlier.
Agreed. I'm just saying, like, if I wouldn't have got injured, I would have finished with a 301 something.
Yeah, maybe.
301.20.
You were close.
So I missed by about a minute and a half, whatever.
I don't think your pacing cost you very. I think your pacing was actually really good.
No. I'm I am so happy with the day, how it went, and how I was resilient, and how I was
like you have a lot of mental toughness. I don't think a lot of people can pace. A big part of pacing is being mentally tough too, right? So I think
it is hard. It's freaking hard, man.
Yeah.
It was hard to do those middle miles when I didn't really have the fitness, but I was like, okay, let's just go.
Yeah.
And but it was fun. It was fun chipping away. It was so fun.
I was texting Simo and I said like, oh, he's chipping away. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a chance at the end. And it's exact. And then you sent me a text and it was like you said the exact same thing that I said to Simo. So it was like, yeah, I guess I know him pretty well.
I just wanted to give myself a shot, right? Yeah. I told myself if I can be at mile 22, if I could be 10K out, needing like 41 minutes or something, I have a chance, right? There's a chance I could do that, and I kind of put myself in that chance, and then right at the end, the hip started getting, and then it got really bad the last 2 miles, so I kind of jogged it in there.
How does it feel right now?
It's sore, but like I think I'm
like a stiffness more though, hopefully.
Yeah, right now the whole thing is stiff.
Yeah,
and it's like under, but I'm sure I'm fine. Like I feel I'm so excited. One of the reasons I was excited. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like last episode, you touched on it a little bit, like how we had those couple races that we ran together. I think like that would it would have been fun to run this with you. I think we need to do that again at some point. Like have a.
Do you want to come to London?
No, I'm doing Boston. I mean,
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're doing Boston.
No, I'll be too slow for London. I think I'll be.
Why don't we pick a year from now? I'll go back to Chicago if you want.
Yeah, let's do. Like I'm doing Chicago for sure. So
okay,
and that's gonna be my A plus race for 225 is Chicago. I think.
Okay, we'll I'll commit to that right now. I was kind of hoping to maybe do. What's Berlin?
Well, there's Berlin too, I guess, but
I mean, I don't really care that much about doing all 6 because I know I'm going to do all 6. So I'd rather check them off sub 3s first. I don't have any sub 3s.
Well, you're at 0 right now.
So I'm at 0, so I gotta get one. I gotta get one.
I'm at 0 too, so whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because
that's way harder than you think it's going to be.
I recognize it's hard, Charlie, but I want it to be hard. It's a tough goal. Dwayne, shout out to Dwayne, our triathlon buddy, was telling me that there's only it's like less than 1,000. Is it less than 1,000 Canadians that have run sub 330 all 6 majors? Something like that.
Oh, really? I got 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, I got 3 now. But and I think you said that there's less than, I'm making up numbers, but I forget what the number is, but something like less than 100 or less than 50 that have done sub 3 at each of them.
Yeah. Sub 3 is quite a bit different. Yeah. Also, So, but talking about sub 3 here, shout out to the guy from Manitoba, John Coffin.
Holy smokes, that guy's in good shape.
So
what did he do? 240? 240.
240 something? 241 or
240.
Something?
No, I think
239.
239.
Sub 240.
Holy
that's amazing.
Smokes.
Congrats to him. I don't know if that's a PR or what, but
it says on Strava, but I don't know if it's a PR for him. But
and to his wife, Carolyn, who is my favorite bike person at the 10 and 10, but so 320.
Yeah, she was fun at the 10 and 10. Did she run it too?
No, she ran Chicago, 324. I think she's like working off an injury, so I think that's good for her.
Okay. So they ran it. Shout out to Chris Dick, the Carmen runner.
Chris,
He ran it.
Chris Dick ran it as well. Yep.
350 or something. Congrats to
Yep.
Chris. Shout out to Ryan Bram, second marathon ever. He ran it.
Ryan Bram crushed it.
Personal best. His wife, she ran it, and his cousin or something ran her first ever marathon.
Oh, wow.
So she did it. Congrats. And obviously we got to give a shout out to Jessica Dracul. She ran it. Who else am I missing here?
So many other people, but yeah.
Yeah, anyways, a lot of Winnipeggers.
A lot of Manitobans in that race. Well, Trent Gill, again, crushed it, 2:45.
2:45, wow.
I don't know him, but he had a really good time in Boston, and he had a really good time here. So,
yeah. I was thinking like at 3:03. So one of the guys in the RV asked me, so we took an RV down, he asked me, oh, so that's like pretty close to your personal best. So you're almost back. You're almost back to where you were 2 years ago when you ran your 2:56. And I thought, like, this is a way better effort than that, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's way better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cheater marathon. That was a
that's your best marathon you've run. But wait, had you run it 6 weeks ago, you would have done a lot better. So
yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about like London. I'm excited about running marathons. Like this was so fun. As much as I was miserable the last 6 weeks, the first part of the build was fun, and this weekend was really fun. And like the challenge on Sunday of chipping away and mental battle and do this, Rob, you can do it, and go. And I loved it. I enjoyed it, pushing yourself and seeing what you're made of. And it's like, how did you describe it one time? It's a test at one moment in time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because the training is awesome, is the journey. It's what we all live for. But this is like, you're being,
it's like that's where you get to show off your fitness, but it's also at that point it becomes a test of your mind.
Yeah, and I think the more I do these, like the more it's a skill, right? Like it's not running a marathon's a skill.
Yeah, when I say mind, I mean like your ability to make decisions and your ability to stay in it. And again, there's like it's very, very much a brain activity at that point.
Yeah, it is, and it's fun. It's fun, and it's fun becoming better at it, right?
Yeah. No, you're obviously really good at it.
No, but I mean, okay, there's the fitness piece, which I'm getting.
No, but the actual racing, like how to run a race, you're obviously you nailed it.
But I mean, think of my last two, Charlie. Anyways, I'm becoming
well. The last two were just like, so you went for it, but you didn't have the fitness, right? So
yeah, I really, really am pumped about London. Like I know I can run healthy. I know I can run 650.
Okay, but wait. So what were your lessons learned though from this one?
Okay, lessons learned. You have to, the biggest lesson that I've learned is you have to remove emotion from the process of training.
Okay.
And I get way too emotional, and those that know me know this. I get way too invested emotionally in everything in my life. Yeah. It's maybe a character flaw, but it's also, I think, what drives me to succeed in some shape or form. So I got so emotionally invested in my high. Remember, if you listen to the episodes from 2 months ago, I'm the happiest human being on the planet. This build is so fun. Yeah. And then you let like the highs become too high and the lows become too low. So you have to remove the emotion from the process is my biggest lesson that I've learned.
Okay. Yeah. And I think what goes hand in hand with that is like, when you start feeling really good, that's when you need to like not go too hard, because you'll be so tempted to go, like, I think, just like stay the course, like, because when you know you've got it in you and you kind of want to unleash it, right?
Are you talking about like my second half of this race yesterday?
No, I mean in your build-up, right? Like, so.
Oh, yes.
I think
I screwed up. I did too many miles. I didn't focus on the plan. I went too hard. I should have just, and like 1 a week is like follow the plan, Rob. Like,
Yeah, like be patient. Even like,
Be patient.
and that's the hardest when you're actually in really, really, really good shape, right? Like,
I
so
just wanted to run so many miles fast. I just wanted to
yeah,
go. I just wanted to go, and I ended up hurting myself because of
yeah.
that. Well, I think so. That's a
I
great
think
lesson
that's
for you.
part. I think you did a lot of fast miles or during that when you were in really good
Yeah.
shape. Like even though they felt really easy for you at that point, like I think you maybe could have benefited from like a few more easy miles. But
Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm learning. And like I think of we talked about this last time, but like I ran 550 kilometers in
no
2 weeks.
problems, right?
No problem. No injuries, just
Yeah,
go and like
yeah.
it was 4 times the mileage that I normally do kind of thing. And no problem. But now I did, some really fast miles and you get injured, right?
Yeah.
So I think I like Patrick has a process and I need to trust his process. And I deviated a little bit because I felt so good and that's not good. So there are some lessons learned here and it's fun. This is so fun. And
But like if you
as
don't get injured, like for this marathon, like hypothetically speaking here, I think you would have been close to 255 or maybe faster, right? So that's kind of
yeah,
like
I'm
even
optimistic.
if next time, like so next time, as long as you don't get injured, you're going to be in the hunt for 255, right? Like
Yeah, so I'm gonna follow the process. I do want to also like see how good I can get at running marathons, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like
I
I've
know,
had,
but like you don't have to.
I know.
There's no shortcuts. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. Is like you're not gonna by doing one or two hero workouts are the enemy of becoming really good. I think
Yeah,
you got to avoid these hero workouts, and we all do them sometimes, where we feel really good and we just like want to like see what our fitness does. But in the long term, I think they're actually bad for you. Like you need to be just below that hero level, you know.
yeah.
Anyways,
That's the biggest. Those two lessons, they're kind of similar, but those two lessons are what definitely what I'm taking away here. And one other thing I want to mention, and I don't want to heart to heart too much here, but like how much support I've had from everyone. I was
yeah,
thinking about this yesterday in the RV on the way home. My buddies, they love me, they care, and they're awesome, but they don't. Nobody cares. They don't. And how was your run? Good, oh, awesome. But like the running community is a community that I am so proud and happy to be a part of. And like they're so supportive. They were so helpful in when I was down and people texting me and people listen to the podcast. They go, Rob, you're gonna be fine. Chin up, you're doing great. Simo and just constant list of names that have been supportive of me. And in a way, I feel kind of bad because I'm like, oh shit, I made people feel like they need to send me a pep talk or whatever. But I guess
well,
and
I
I
think
think of
we've all been there though. Like I think that especially people that run, like we go through these things that are similar, right? So
yeah, but I also think of like Todd. He texted me. I think
who?
he
Oh,
texted you,
Todd. Yeah, yeah.
Todd.
Oh, Todd
He's
said,
like,
yeah.
he gave me
Todd's
like
on
this
cloud
long,
nine though right now, which I
yeah,
understandably.
yeah. He's like you after Boston, right? He's like, man, and he sent me this long message about how like congratulations on everything you're doing and you're running and this and that, and I felt like thank you, Todd. I told him thank you, like I really appreciate that message, but I'm like, I'm resilient, like like get out of my way, like I will run this marathon, and it kind of like I'm I was ready. Like I was like, "Okay, let's go, let's go." So I appreciated all the
So,
support that I
so,
got from.
so, so Chicago Marathon, where does it rank uh,
Um,
among your things that you've done so far?
it's so weird because like I don't think anything will be able to take anything away from the San Bernardino, the LA one. Like the first time we qualified for Boston and like beat my PB by a half hour. That was just a crazy day, barreling down the hill there at a million miles an hour, and just the sheer euphoria of that. Um, I like the New York Marathon as a race more. So my majors right now are
Oh,
ranked
yeah, New
as
York
a race.
Marathon's number one all time for fun, for sure.
It's so cool. New York, Chicago, Boston for me in terms of race day experience. But like the emotional high of the race, it was my second, I'd say second, happiest, funnest day for that marathon, other than that LA one. But
I thought for sure you were going to say when you ran across Manitoba the first time, like.
But wait, we're talking about marathons, right?
Oh,
because
okay,
I've done other stuff. I was gonna say, like, when I did my first Ironman, I was in tears for like a whole day. I was so emotional about it. Like, and I never thought in my life I'd be able to do an Ironman, and I did it, and nobody believed I could do it. And I did one in like 12 months. I went from couch to Ironman. Like
yeah. Speaking of Ironmans, like,
it's hard.
My kids are loud, but speaking of Ironmans, I forget how hard I thought they were. Like, when I was younger, I thought it was just a thing that was impossible to do, right? And now I'm actually going to be doing another one, and I'm pretty pumped about it. So yeah, it's interesting how what you think is possible changes over time.
Simo was talking about it, right? And then who else did we interview recently that said, like, never in his mind would he have thought that he could do this, right? And that's this whole journey thing where you decide, and it's not about the race itself. It's about me deciding that I was going to make changes in my life, and I was going to, be healthier and happier, and commit to something, and decide I want to do something. So when I did that Ironman, yes, running a marathon in 3 hours is hard and whatever, but like doing an Ironman is another planet, right? It's a different stratosphere. Like what you're going to do in 2 weeks is,
I would say running a sub 3 hour marathon is a lot harder than just completing an Ironman.
Okay.
Depending on where you're at in your journey, I guess. But in terms of like what's harder to actually do, I would say even an Ironman takes a lot of organization but yeah, I'd say running a sub 3 is actually harder than just completing an Ironman.
Okay. Sure. I think I gather, and this is a great question, and you're making me think now, because I gathered such highs from such different things. Like when I crossed the finish line, when I ran across Manitoba there, like that was the highest high that I had reached. Because shit, remember when we were talking about, do you think I can run across Manitoba? And you're like, I think you can. You're like, we had no clue. And all of a sudden I'm running across Manitoba, and I had all my friends and family there, and I raised $250,000, and we passed this bill, and lives are being changed. And that's a different level of what I'm accomplishing and what I'm doing. And it was so rewarding. Running that marathon is like, it's the path, it's the race. It's totally different. They're different highs, but I do think if I had to rate all my highs, I have my first Ironman, I have my Manitoba crossing, and I have my San Bernardino marathons as my top 3 different types of highs that I've had. This was right up there with it, because I didn't think I could do it. And then I went out and I did it. So I know I didn't break 3, but I mean, I whatever. I did it in my mind. Like I was right there, and I almost did it. So yes, I'm very happy, and I'm very excited, and these things are fun. I want to wrap Chicago, but I do want to ask quick, because you do have a big race. You did 5.5 hours on the trainer.
Yeah, I crushed that trainer workout. My kids are
they're fine. We don't hear them. They're fine. We don't see them or hear them unless they want something from you.
Yeah, no worries. So I had a really good Saturday. I did 5.5 hours on the bike.
Set the table real quick. Your race is 2 weeks less a day.
2 weeks less a day, and I'm at that point where I'm almost too confident. It's really I get these to this point sometimes before these races, and it's you're so like, I don't know, I'm really confident, but at the same time I'm like, oh, what if something goes wrong? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I did that 5.5 hour bike ride, and so it was 5 1-hour reps. The last rep I averaged 260 watts, and the last 5 minutes I was able to do over 320 watts after 5 hours on the bike. So I was feeling fresh. I was feeling good. Nutrition.
Sorry, you averaged 260 watts, you said?
For the last 1 hour rep.
Holy shit. That's really good. For anyone who
So
doesn't bike, I can tell you, I do my workouts. I'm like 220s and
yeah,
230s.
I was
And
feeling really, really good on the bike. The only thing is my last bike ride was in the wind and it was hard.
yeah. But I mean,
I
well,
haven't
we
been
talked about
outside in
that.
a while, so that's the other part. But
Yeah.
um,
Did you get
and then I went straight off the bike and I ran, and I felt really good running. So it was like, oh man, I could do a 340 right now. I felt like had I kept going, you know. Um, so
what pace did you run though, that brick run at?
8:22 a mile, which is like
Just over
or
330,
which is close
340,
to 340. Yeah,
338.
I felt like 340 was in grasp, was within my grasp. You know, I did 9 miles at that pace. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. It's feeling really good. So
I got shivers thinking about it. I'm excited.
yeah,
I'm excited for you because I remember when I was training for when I was at my peak Ironman shape, I had a day like that in Saint Laurent where I rode on the bike for 5.5 hours and I went out and I ran and I felt like indestructible I was nowhere near the biker you are, but I was strong on the run and I felt so indestructible in that run. That one moment, 2 weeks before my race, carried me for those 2 weeks. That run, just the run part. I felt so good on the run.
Well, yeah, to me the run was the part that like I've been worrying about my run the whole time, right? Like I know that's the key is going to be my run, right? So because I know I'll be fast on the bike no matter what.
Yeah, you're gonna do like a 440 on the bike, 445, 450, whatever, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And like, what do you have left for the swim for the bike is gonna be. I mean, unless there's wind or unless whatever, maybe it won't go. Maybe it'll be 5 hours, whatever. But it's gonna be around there for sure. So
I
then,
feel like five's about the worst I could possibly do. Like, but
yeah, I agree. I honestly think like I have a number that I think you'll do, but I don't want to set expectations on you. But like all you got to make sure is can you run 26 miles quick after, right?
can I keep running for as long as I don't, as long as I keep running, like as long as
Yeah.
I don't walk, you know, I'll be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. That's 2 weeks, 2 weeks less a day. So the hay is in the barn.
The hay's definitely in the barn. I could just gotta avoid my kids and my wife because they keep getting sick. Just kidding. I won't do that. But
What you have like what next Saturday? It's like a 2 hour bike or something.
2.5 hour bike, which
Yeah,
feels kind of easy, but
yeah.
yeah.
So the hay's in the barn. You're are you did you get to the point in your Ironman training where you like had enough
Oh
on
yeah,
biking?
it's been
Yeah,
like 3 weeks. I'm like, okay,
this is it. I get it. I
this is
saw a lot
getting
of
old.
biking. Yeah, but
Well, for me, it's the 5 hour plus bike rides. Like I feel like I'm more conditioned to running long than to biking long. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm just more, my body's more used to doing long runs compared to doing long bike runs. So it's good that I got I got like 4 or 5 pretty long bike rides in. Because
you did 2 5.5s and 2 5s.
no, I only did last week.
Oh, because you had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I only did 1 5.5, but I did 1 5.5, 2 5s, 2 4.5s.
yeah, that's a lot
And
of hours on the bike, man.
yeah, so
You've done a ton of mileage. You're way more ready than I ever was for. And I
well,
went to Worlds.
I feel like I've never been like this ready for a triathlon in my life, so I'm pretty excited. I feel like even like if my running is actually starting to feel good.
Yeah.
On
Well,
low
you have
mileage, like I
so
feel
much
like I could
fitness.
probably run a 310 if I ran a marathon tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
you have
yeah, I'm
so
feeling
much
pretty good.
fitness, right?
Yeah.
So that's exciting. So then, uh, we'll keep you guys up to speed on that. We'll record at least another episode before the Ironman. One more. We'll go over stuff. There'll be the WF. Shit, I'm going to Triathlon Worlds this weekend. I leave
Yeah, we
Thursday,
need to schedule a call with Uncle Mo here.
and we need Uncle Mo for WFBS, and we need to do a try. There might be a lot of episodes on the show here over the next while, which is okay, right?
Yeah.
It's our journey. Uncle Mo is doing his first half. I'm so excited for him. There's so many other guys that everyone in Winnipeg is running this race, right? Next
Oh
weekend.
man, I've got such a FOMO. What's it called?
Yeah, FOMO.
FOMO. Yeah, I wish I was running that race right now. Like I feel like oh god, I wish I could run that race, but I am prioritizing my Ironman. So.
Yeah, you don't need to run that race.
Oh
Like,
man, I wish
I
so
know you wish, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I'll survive.
We're gonna
I'll
do
survive
something
not running this race.
You'll do something way more special next weekend.
Yeah.
I got a couple messages from some listeners. I guess we talked about the fact that I was going to try a Guinness record barefoot, I guess, on our last episode.
Oh yeah, you're still doing that?
That's the plan. We bought some pedals, and I guess.
Oh, you got the overlap pedals?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm going to try that.
Did you do a couple barefoot miles? Or?
No, I had a Chicago marathon to run this weekend.
Oh, yesterday. Okay. Maybe tomorrow's going to be a bit cold.
I will do some barefoot running though this week. So like Wednesday or something. I leave Thursday.
You need to do it on pavement or whatever that's.
I know. I'll do something Wednesday, and then once I'm in Spain,
But maybe not do too much. Like maybe ease.
No, because I don't want to. I'll do like a mile or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw a guy.
I'm worried about your feet a little bit.
Whatever. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well.
Yeah, just make sure you get the record. Like, so go hard on the bike. Go hard on the bike. Then you don't have to kill your feet as much.
Yeah, I could just jog.
Yeah, go hard on the swim too if you can.
I will go hard on the swim. I have nothing to lose on the swim, so I will go hard.
Yeah, so hard on the swim, hard on the bike, and then just do what it takes for the run. Yeah. Like it's what, 257?
253, I think, 256. 256.
256. So let's say you get like a 31-minute swim, a 30-minute swim, let's say. I don't know how the
I've not been in the pool. I've not been in the pool.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying 31. So 31, let's say 4 total minutes. 5. No, you're going to be so fast in transition. So let's say
no shoes.
4 minutes in transition. So 31. Let's say you can do an hour 20. I think you haven't.
Yeah, that's fine.
An hour 20 plus, so an hour 51 plus 4, an hour 55. You have an hour for your run. Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, I expect I'll be able to do it.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Thanks. All right. This was fun. Thanks for recording this. We stay tuned to the channel. There's a lot of really fun stuff. Congrats to everyone who ran Chicago this weekend. Thanks to all of you for supporting me and being there for me. I appreciate you guys. Charlie, I appreciate you too. You were the one that kept telling me, you're going to do better than you think. You're going to do better than you think. And I started feeling it and I believed it. And then Sunday when I woke up, I was like, I'm going to freaking do this. And I was so, I didn't quite have it, but I'm glad I tried. And I want to thank you for that.
I'd say I probably didn't have as much confidence as Jen did in you, but I had a lot of confidence in you. So
Jen, she was awesome. You're fast. You're fast. Stop saying you're going to do 320. Yeah. She's good for the community.
All right.
Lots of love for Jen and all of you guys. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Like us. Tell your friends about us. Lots of shows coming up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And remember, more miles, less pace.